Jake Miller had always been a man of simple pleasures. At 32, he ran a small garage in a quiet Ohio town, working long hours on cars that most people had abandoned. Life had thrown him its share of challenges. His parents had passed when he was young, and his modest income barely covered rent and bills. But he never complained. For Jake, there was a certain joy in taking broken things and restoring them to life. Every dent he fixed, an engine he repaired, was a small victory, a reminder that skill and patience could turn failure into triumph. He took pride in his work, not for recognition, but because it gave him purpose. One rainy afternoon, as the sound of tires splashing on wet pavement echoed through the garage, a woman wheeled herself through the doors. Emily Carter, 28, had been paralyzed from the waist down after a car accident the previous year. Her presence was both hesitant and determined. She had been turned away from numerous garages before, dismissed because her request seemed too complicated or too risky. Yet when she looked at Jake, there was a glimmer of hope. "I need a car I can drive myself," she said softly, her voice tinged with both desperation and resolve. Jake examined her, noting the strength in her eyes despite her situation. "If you want it, we'll make it happen," he said simply, unaware that this project would challenge him in ways he had never imagined. Over the next few weeks, Jake poured every ounce of energy into customizing Emily's car. The process was intricate. Hand controls had to be installed, pedals adjusted, and accessibility features tailored to her specific needs. Jake worked late into the evenings, often skipping meals and rest, driven by a sense of purpose that went beyond business. During this time, Emily frequently visited, observing the progress, offering suggestions, and sharing stories about her life before the accident. She spoke of dreams she had put on hold, fears that haunted her, and the loneliness that had crept in after her independence was lost. Jake listened patiently, offering encouragement, advice, and occasionally a laugh to lighten her spirits. Slowly a bond formed between them, a connection built on trust, empathy, and shared determination. One evening, as Jake completed the final adjustment, Emily's eyes filled with tears. She ran her hands along the hand controls he had installed, testing each function with cautious excitement. "I never thought I'd feel like myself again," she whispered, her voice trembling. Jake, feeling a mixture of pride and humility, waved his hand modestly. "I'm just doing my job," he muttered, though deep down he knew there was more to it than that. For the first time in months, Emily felt hope, freedom, and the possibility of reclaiming her life. And for Jake, the gratitude in her eyes was a reminder that sometimes the work we do for others can touch our own hearts in unexpected ways. Little did Jake know, Emily held a secret, one that would soon turn his world upside down. A secret that would not only alter his understanding of generosity and kindness, but also present opportunities he had never dared to imagine. The car, the project, and the bond they shared were only the beginning of a story that would forever change the trajectory of both their lives, proving that acts of compassion often have consequences far greater than anyone can foresee. The day finally arrived when Emily would see her fully customized car ready to drive. Jake had spent countless hours fine-tuning every detail, making sure the hand controls were smooth, the seat adjusted perfectly, and every safety feature was in place. As Emily wheeled herself into the parking lot, her eyes widened with anticipation and nervous excitement. The rain had cleared, leaving a crisp afternoon sun that reflected off the freshly polished car. She ran her hands over the steering wheel and controls, feeling a sense of empowerment she hadn't experienced in over a year. Jake watched from a distance, his heart swelling with pride, yet unaware that the day's surprises weren't over. Emily took a deep breath and pressed the ignition button. The car hummed to life effortlessly. A wide smile spread across her face as she navigated a short test drive around the lot. "I can drive again. Thanks to you, Jake," she said, her voice full of joy and disbelief. Jake felt a lump in his throat, overwhelmed by the tangible difference he had made in someone's life. Yet Emily's expression shifted slightly, her smile turning into a hesitant, nervous look. She wheeled herself closer and with a deep breath revealed something that made Jake freeze. She had inherited a philanthropic foundation from her late parents, dedicated to helping disabled individuals regain independence, and she wanted him to be a part of it. Jake blinked, unsure if he had heard correctly. Emily explained that she had always dreamed of creating opportunities for disabled people to live life fully, and seeing his dedication and skill had inspired her. She wanted him to help expand the initiative, opening workshops across the country to provide customized vehicles and mobility solutions. Jake, who had never imagined his small garage could impact so many lives, felt a wave of disbelief mixed with gratitude. He realized that his passion, his hard work, and his willingness to help someone in need could now reach countless others. In the weeks and months that followed, Jake's life changed dramatically. The once modest garage became a bustling center for innovation and compassion, where skilled mechanics worked alongside Emily to design vehicles that transformed lives. People traveled from neighboring states to seek assistance, and Jake found himself mentoring others who shared his commitment to helping. Emily continued to inspire, visiting regularly, sharing stories of progress and offering encouragement. Together, they became a team united by a common purpose and a vision that extended far beyond themselves. Looking back, Jake understood that a single act of kindness, the willingness to help Emily regain her independence, had reshaped the trajectory of his life. It had taught him that true fulfillment comes not just from personal success, but from the positive impact we leave on others. The car, once a project in a small Ohio garage,